Marquette in West Virginia from Morgantown. We're in the Coliseum, and there's Buzz Williams in his second year. He was an assistant to Tom Crean and then took over. And Bob Huggins, of course, was actually born in Morgantown, West Virginia.
I'll tell you, he is a Mountaineer through and through. Graduated magna cum laude from this higher institution and was a great player here and is obviously a wonderful, wonderful coach.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Interstate Batteries, Kubion, Bikes, Fulse, Hayward, and Butler. Those are the starters. We'll set the West Virginia starters when we get a chance. They're all about the same size, 6'7", 6'8".
Extremely unusual lineup. They go inside right away to take advantage of their size, and Jones comes up big.
He has been playing very strong all year long, averaging almost 16 points a game. This is Kubion. We'll hand it off.
Watch the switching defenses here, John. Anytime there's a screen, they switch. The reason is everybody's the same size.
Block. That was Smith who blocked it inside. And this is Butler working out in front.
This is the most unusual lineup in college basketball this year. 5 guys, 6'8", starting at the same time. They all play all over the floor, and they are tough on the boards.
Jones doesn't get the roll, but still they battle inside, and a foul called.
5 guys to the offensive glass. This is why they're number 6 in the nation, my friend.
This is the Interstate Battery starting 5. Butler, Ebanks, Flowers, Jones, Smith, they play all over the place.
You know, interesting contrast between these two teams, both in size. Of course, the starting lineup, nobody's taller than 6'7" on one side, and everybody's over 6'7" on the other side. But they didn't lose anything except Alex Ruoff, who was an outstanding player. And of course, Marquette lost almost their entire team. Lazar, Hayward, and Acker, the only 2 guys who played big minutes last year. Butler, also number 33, pretty solid. Next to Hayward, he's their second best player.
Well, they lost about 50 points a game in offense, and Marquette's going to turn it over. Take a look at our star watch for tonight. And well, Butler will do it for one of these teams.
Jimmy Butler and Deshaun Butler. Jimmy's the second leading scorer. He's got 3 double-doubles, and of course, a great career for Deshaun Butler. 1,600 points on his career. A senior this year.
This is Jones outside. Mountaineers have jumped off to a 5-0 start. It's the finish that's been a problem for West Virginia of late. And again, underneath to Jones, his second basket.
Assist, Tom Flowers.
Offensive efficiency.
And a 7-0 start for the unbeaten Mountaineers.
This is where the length comes in at the defensive end. Seems like they've got 7 guys out there. They cover so much territory with their length.
And of course, that's a Huggins specialty. He loves to play defense. The best way to get on the bench is to not play defense in his team. Turnaround is going to come up well short. Back from the Mountaineers. This is Deshaun Butler. Wellington Smith looks inside. Instead, they work the perimeter. Butler pulls up for 3. That's too strong. The rebound tracked down by Butler. Butler shot it. The other Butler rebounded it. There's a good move inside and a nice finish that time by Hayward.
He's a very good player. He reminds me a lot of Deshaun Butler. Both are seniors, both leading scorers on their team. Both have been around for a long time. Look at his handle by a 6'9" player.
Smith on a drive, turns it over. As he travels, got close to the basket, lost his footing. And our first sub will be Johnson Odom, Darius Johnson Odom, who just happens to be the best 3-point shooter percentage-wise in the conference.
58% from downtown. He's a junior college player, first year here at Marquette, went to Hutchinson Junior College.
And Odom has made 13 of his last 18 3-pointers.
Yeah, so he'll be guarded tightly.
He's on a drive this time. This is something they like to do. Gets inside, can't finish. Goes back to the left hand and misses that one as well. This is a tough run for Marquette right now as they play West Virginia. And they've got some other tough teams coming up.
They got Villanova, Georgetown, and Villanova in their next 3.
Butler on a drive. That time he does finish his first basket.
For Marquette, rush the ball down the floor quickly before the defense can set up. That's your best opportunity. Once the defense is set, it's going to be a real struggle for them 5-on-5 between the three-point line and the basket.
Well, right now, the Golden Eagles playing a man-to-man defense and working hard inside, finishing his Smith. That won't go. As, Jones had the easy shot, couldn't make it.
Smith made a mistake there. Had a 2-point shot, took it, made it a longer shot than it could have been.
We talked about the schedule. Villanova on January 2nd, and a week later they play the same team. I mean, that's amazing.
You know, the reason for that is that there are so many public arenas in the Big East Conference. Scheduling games is a real task. And of course, because there's 16 teams, you know, it makes it even more difficult. But everybody's going to go through a gauntlet like that during the course of the season, no question about it. And there's 5 teams ranked in the top 13. You're going to play them all.
Well, it's not going to be easy for the Mountaineers either. They've got number 4 Purdue coming up on New Year's Day. Block and a foul call. That'll go on Ebanks. He'll pick up his first.
You know, Marquette this year uses the dribble because they had a size differential in every team they play.
Mountaineers scored the first 7. Marquette has put in the last 4 points in our Big East Network game from Morgantown.
Great atmosphere. Looks like there's about 14,000 here, huh, John?
Yeah, there's a big crowd. There you see Devin Ebanks, deservedly so the player of the week. Hazel lighting up the Mountaineers for 41.
I told Bob Huggins that he needs 4% of Hazel's pro contract when he goes. Brandon Trish, the rookie of the week from Syracuse, and 4 teams ranked in the top 10. And of course, Georgetown is number 13. Big stuff going on in the Big East. Last year, probably the best conference in the history of college basketball. 4 teams with 31 wins. 3 number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament in Connecticut, Louisville, and Pittsburgh. It was quite a year.
It was, and it may not be the same this year because players tend to move on.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you know, with Syracuse jumping up to number 5 in the nation right away, things are looking pretty darn strong in the Big East already.
Here comes the pressure and the press. We expected it because Mountaineers have had a problem with that. Thurman is checked into the lineup. Where's number 2?
Neither of the point guards in the game so far, Joe Mazzulla or Truck Bryant.
Nice move inside by Deshaun Butler.
Are you kidding me? What body balance! The backdoor play. Beautiful. Thurman gets in and makes a great pass right away. They were supposed to switch that. They didn't.
What hang time he had on that play as well. Wow.
Look at Ebanks. 6'9" on Aker, who's 5'8".
Aker trying to put a move on him. Gets to the foul line and then bounces it down low. Thurman was there defensively. The loose ball goes out of bounds and it belongs to West Virginia.
Well, Deshaun Butler goes backdoor. Watch the body right here. Keeps the ball on his outside, takes the hit from Lazar Hayward, and uses the backboard to soften the shot. That is an educated player. I was impressed at the other end, too, with Ebanks guarding Aker and staying in front of him, huh?
Exactly. He wouldn't let him penetrate. Flowers dumps it down inside. Ebanks tries to bank from home, can't do it. Back comes Marquette. Johnson will shoot his first 3 of the night and bury it. Boy, he can shoot, huh?
He really knocks him in. And he has no conscience, too. They want him to jack from deep. The more threes he takes, the better rhythm he gets into.
Aker is the shortest player in the conference. And on the bench, they have the tallest player in the conference, is 7'2". Backdoor again. Finished by Powell.
What a thing of beauty. How do you combat pressure defense? Backdoor. All 5 guys can pass. All 5 move well without the ball. One-on-one off the dribble. Spread the floor.
This is a 3 from the corner, and it's good by Hayward.
3-point basket.
That possession is instructive, John. That's the way they have to play if they're going to be competitive in the Big East.
Flowers looks to Thurman. Short jumper, a little too strong, and the rebound ripped out of there that time by Johnson Odom. This is Aker with it. Marquette looking to lead for the first time tonight. They tied it at 11. They're going to push. Call on the Mountaineers. It'll go on Flowers. It'll be his first. 13 fouls.
Team foul number 3.
The second backdoor of the game. This time, the guy who was the recipient becomes the guy delivering. Flowers, an easy dunk on the great pass by Deshaun Butler. Nice teamwork there.
And Joe Mazzulla has checked into the lineup. Mazzulla wears number 21, bothered by that shoulder injury, aggravated in the game at Cleveland State, where they won at the buzzer, basically on the Deshaun Butler lay-in.
This guy, the little guy, Aker, played a lot last year. When Dominique James got hurt, he was the starting point guard. This guy loves to bounce, huh?
Yes, he does. It's just Hayward, picked up by Thurman. Works the baseline, puts up a short one, no good, and the rebound to Butler.
Big time rebound.
Whoop, bad pass. Ed Ebanks turning the wrong way. Third turnover for West Virginia. Right now it's an 11-11 ball game. Thurman goes back to the bench as Wellington Smith is on the court.
You got Maurice Aker in the game at 5'8", and also David Kubian at maybe 6 foot in the game right now. He's being guarded by 6'9" Devin Ebanks. Nice team.
Trapped near midcourt. Held ball. But it's going to stay at this end.
Great trap situation between Mazzulla and Butler. That was not calculated. That was just guys doing what they think is the right. And you and I talked this afternoon, and we talked about, does West Virginia trap on the sideline still? And there it is.
Yep. On the way in, the foul is called. No, it's the other way. He palmed it, turned it over. You don't see that called very often, do you?
Not a lot, but the little guy needs something to get an advantage. Only 5'8". He started at Ball State and then transferred to Marquette right here. Oh, baby, that is definitely carrying the basketball. I could get by somebody if they let me do that, huh?
Mazzulla, who is a lefty, but basically has to play right-handed because of that continuing shoulder problem. He's got the ball right now, looking inside. Smith from outside. Too strong, tipped up. Rebound. Butler banks it home. Another offensive rebound. They may not make the first shot, but they're going to make a lot of the second shot.
Yeah, they stay after it on the offensive board. They did the same thing against Ole Miss. And, of course, against Seton Hall in a great overtime victory. Also, the offensive boards in evidence.
Well, Deshaun Butler fouled out of the game last year at Marquette. Little runner by Aker, bending off, tipped up, still loose. And Aker, the littlest man on the court, gets the ball, sets up a three that's good by Hayward, his second.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Hayward looks like a West Virginia player, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I mean, he and Deshaun Butler have a very similar game and similar skill sets.
First lead of the night for Marquette. They're up by one at 14-13 in the battle inside. Johnson Odom will pick up the foul. We'll have more Big East Network basketball after this. Inbounds play by Mazzulla. Gets it to Jones and gets it back. Don't look for Mazzulla to shoot any threes. This is a three on the way. Bending, good.
The inside-outside play of Jones is really remarkable. He's their best post-up guy, and yet he can shoot threes. Among the best improved players in the league.
7 points for him with that three-pointer. Gives West Virginia the lead again. Here's Johnson Odom. He tries to drive. They turn it over. They have not done that much in the first half. Here's Mazzulla on the run. He'll take it all the way in and is stripped. Loose ball picked up by Hayward. And back comes David Kubian. He'll be on from Venezuela.
I like how you pronounce that very nicely.
He's going to shoot a three and make us all look good here. Tipped into the hands of Deshaun Butler. We're midway through this opening half. Along with Bob Wenzel, I'm John Sanders. Thanks for joining us in our Big East Conference Network game. Ball deflected out of bounds. I'm not sure we'll see Truck Bryant at all because he's got two problems now.
Yeah, you know, his ankle has been a problem, and then he tweaked his hamstring in the Seton Hall game. Bob Huggins telling us that he's not really able to move that well as Mitchell comes in, the junior college player who's a reputed excellent three-point shooter and has had some good games early in the year.
He will check into the lineup. He has been bothered by a knee injury and missed a couple of games.
Yeah, first 3 games of the year he was in double figures, hasn't been in double figures since.
He hasn't played many minutes since either. Mazzulla almost lost control of the ball, finds Mitchell. Butler to Smith. I thought we'd see some zone from Marquette, but so far it's been basically man-to-man defense.
Yeah, and that's what they normally do. It's hard to play zone when you're a small team. It's hard, the rebounding part.
Shot clock winding down. Mazzulla has it knocked back in his face. He does put up a shot, but it'll go the other way. 5 turnovers now for West Virginia, and that late in the game has been a real stickler for them. It was at Cleveland State. And of course, the problem with Seton Hall, they didn't make their free throws in the last minute and wound up with the lights out shooting of Hazel.
They're a team that you would think you could press because of their size and because of Mazzulla's injury. And yet they go through spurts where they do turn the ball over a lot, and then yet they don't turn it over at the end of the game that many times. So you know, full court pressure for 40 minutes. Cleveland State almost beat West Virginia, so that's probably a formula that other teams should try to use against the number 6 ranked team.
And I think they'll see it. Stop and go move, nice drive, sets up a 3. Hayward looking for his 3rd. That gives him 11 already. Back on top goes Marquette.
Hayward comes into this game shooting 26% from three-point range. That's not very good. You know, you want to be up in the mid-30s at least to be considered an outstanding player, and yet he looks very, very comfortable here.
A hold on the way in, called on Marquette.
Fouls on 33, Jimmy
Butler will pick up his first personal.
His first.
You have to,
13 foul.
I'm sorry, John, you have to admire Marquette. I mean, with their lack of size, they really don't have anybody who's a 4 or a 5 man on their team, and yet they play competitively against every team they play against.
Left-hand shot coming up short. Rebound on the weak side by the Mountaineers, pulled down by Wellington Smith. And now Mazzulla will run the offense again.
Ebanks likes to have the ball in his hands.
He's got that injured hand still taped, but I'm not sure he needs it. A strip out in front as they take it away from Jennings, and a jam and a foul at the other end. Wow.
Lazar! Oh my goodness! Not only the dunk, but the heck of a defensive play at the other end of the floor. He jumps in the passing lane, gets fouled right here, gets close to the basket. The flush right here. This is excellent play by a very, very experienced player.
And he's already got 13 points. Jennings will pick up his first foul, and he'll immediately go to the bench as well.
Lazar averages nearly 19 a game, and man, is he hot in this one.
13 so far tonight. He's a good free throw shooter at 80%. As a matter of fact, the whole team very good at the free throw line.
Lazar has had 7 games in the 20s already this year. 27 against Xavier, 22 against Michigan, 21 against Wisconsin. He also had 12 rebounds in that game. That's a big game between Marquette and Wisconsin in that state.
They lost that game at Wisconsin. They've also lost to Florida State and NC State, but they have wins over Xavier and Michigan.
Yes, and of course the Florida State was a 1-point game where the 7-footer Alabi hit a turnaround in the closing seconds.
On the weak side, Jones had it, lost it as Aker takes it away.
Quick hands.
Biggest lead of the half right now for Marquette. They are up 4, 20-16. Just inside 8 minutes remaining.
Gritty, huh? They're gritty.
Yeah, they will take it right to you.
They want to spread it out. Look, 5 guys outside the 3-point line. Take a look at this. And now they want to take turns dribbling and going one-on-one. Nice hands, John.
Got some help from Tommy Bowe, too.
Officials timeout.
Well, Marquette on a 9-3 run right now. They've got the lead in Morgantown. 7:34 to play. It's 20-16. Marquette has the lead. Hayward has scored 9 points himself in the last 4 minutes.
14 points on the game. Lazar, he wants to be an All-American. Doing it at both ends of the floor. He's made 3 threes. Great defense, running the floor, dunking. And this guy is on fire. Lazar Hayward, man, I'll tell you what, he looks terrific out there in this game. And, of course, vying for one of the top players in the Big East. He'd love to be one of them.
Well, a great job for him of late in boosting Marquette into its biggest lead of the half. And Butler will inbound the ball.
John, Lazar has 14 points. The rest of the team has 6.
Here's a drive and a finish. Nicely done that time by Johnson Odom. The three-point specialist that time worked the drive, and the lead grows to 6. And some grumbling here. I'm John Sanders along with Bob Wenzel. We're delighted to have you along. A little bit of a surprising start after West Virginia scored the first 7. Butler's alone underneath.
No doubt about it. I mean, you talk about upset city. Right now, Marquette is in great shape. Coming in before the game, you would think they would have very little chance, but really, they are very intelligent. They're spreading the floor. Their star players taking most of the shots. That's him right there. Nice pump fake.
And it's going to be a charge that time, and Truck Bryant is on the court. It'll be the first on Lazar Hayward, trying to get inside and working against the smaller Bryant. Used his body, and he hit the deck.
Yeah, and this guy has a problem with his ankle and at the same time with his hamstring. So nice sacrificing your body by Mr. Bryant.
Goes as the 4th turnover of the opening half with 6:40 to play. Marquette has moved out to a 4-point lead. They've been up by as many as 6. West Virginia had scored the first 7 of the ball game. Bryant almost worked that back door to perfection. He just went off his hands out of bounds.
Both teams are keeping the basket area clear. Bob Huggins keeping it clear and then posting up. And then, of course, Buzz Williams at his end of the floor really trying to spread it and go one-on-one and try to get their quickness involved in the game.
Well, West Virginia so far with 8 turnovers and 8 field goals.
Take a look at this wideness right now. Everybody out beyond the 3-point line.
Loose ball kicked out of bounds, and it belongs to Marquette. Tonight's Big East Network game is being produced and distributed by ESPN Regional Television Incorporated.
And it is a good one. There's no shock there. Big East Conference, every game is going to be competitive.
Exactly.
16 teams, John, and of the 16, 11 of the 16 have either 0, 1, or 2 losses on the season so far.
Spin move, pull-up shot, and air ball. We talked about the fact that Marquette has to play Villanova twice in a week. West Virginia also plays the Wildcats twice this year. The top 2 preseason picks in the conference.
Yep. And right now, Syracuse is banging on the door. They are the highest. Yikes!
What a drive and finish by Ebanks.
Wow! That came from nowhere.
Well, he got a little seam, and he just went right to the basket. Johnson Odom misses a 3. He doesn't miss many. Bryant comes back with it.
You can tell by Bryant's movements he's not 100%.
That's a 3 that rims off, but underneath is Ebanks with a follow. That's blocked. He tries it again and hits.
Repetitive jumping. What a skill set. Devin Ebanks was awesome against Seton Hall, and when they need him, he's coming up big here.
Well, they've wiped out that 6-point lead. We are tied at 22. We were tied at 11. Let's take a look at the move and the play by Ebanks. Watch him come in. That's a flush.
Amen. And right here, secondary jumping. Stay with it. 3rd jump. Finally gets the basket in, and he is enthused. He missed 3 games earlier for personal reasons. Then he hurt his wrist and missed another game. So he's only played 6 of the 10 games that they've had this year. doing pretty well in this one. He is an exciting player.
Ebanks with 4 rebounds, and they are all offensive rebounds so far tonight.
Well, he was on the all-rookie team last year. There's no doubt about that. Bob Huggins loves his game.
And we say he's playing with that wrap. Probably not necessary, but you know, sometimes you're a little superstitious, and if you're playing well, why not? Why change? Right?
I think that's right, and guys get used to it, right? You know, I mean, that's part of it. He didn't play the first 3 games, and then he played out in the Anaheim tournament. His first touch, he hit a turnaround jumper, and he had 2 steals at the end of that game against Texas A&M, and he was terrific.
I was asking Bob Huggins about his attire. Wearing the warm-up suit. I said, how long are you going to stay with that look? Because he changes a lot during the course of the season. He said, well, until we lose.
Superstition raising its head.
Absolutely. That's Kubion handling the basketball. Truck Bryant on him. Johnson Odom on a drive. Puts it up, bending off. Tipped up and rebounded by the Mountaineers. Back comes Bryant. Drive and finish. Well, good job by Bryant. Took it coast to coast. And we're told that the football team has joined us watching the game on ESPN 360 as they get ready for the Gator Bowl.
Ah, the West Virginia football team.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going against Florida State down there in my hometown.
A drive, a block, but a foul on Jones. That'll be his first. 15 foul on the Mountaineers with 4:33 to play in the half.
Well, take the ball to the basket.
Well, they do that, don't they? They love
when you
to do
get
that.
in there, make sure that you try to get it in someone's face so you can draw the foul. When you're a smaller player, getting the ball away from your body is not good. You take it right to the nose of the shot blocker.
Bike's second point. He's made 2 from the line, and here comes the tallest player in the league off the bench, and he is a big young man. Yusufa Mbao is in the lineup at 7'2", and 2 at the line for Bikes.
He's only a freshman from Senegal. He plays the front of the press here. This is a half-court trapping situation. They want to trap and then get back into zone usually.
And that's what they're doing right here. Flowers gets it inside from the corner. A 3 on the way. Bending. Good.
What a smile on the face of Jones. He knew he got a fortuitous roll on that one.
Yes, he did. That gives him 10. He's the first Mountaineer in double figures tonight.
Intensity level of the game's coming up, huh?
And I'll recall the Coppin State game here. That 3 is on the way and good by Acker, his first points of the game. Coppin State held the basketball until like the last 5 seconds of every possession. So what happened in the second half, and it was a very close first half game, Mountaineers came out with a full court press, and all of a sudden the intensity really picked up and they won that ball game.
Right here, interesting. 7'2" guy on the front. He's going to challenge shots out there, but then he's got to get into close to the basket.
Flowers a miss. Back the other way comes Bikes.
I like the strategy by Buzz Williams. You try to keep a superior team off balance. Don't do the same thing for the entire game. They're doing a good job of it at both ends.
And they continue to work the perimeter. Williams, of course, was an assistant under Tom Crean before he took over.
Yep.
Crean moved to Indiana. Shot clock at 5. A great effort that time. Johnson Odom with a little floater. Marquette goes up by 2 again.
Let's take a look at the 3-2 zone. Butler has to cover this corner on this side. That's the tough part. Johnson Odom, of course, has to cover the corner and the wing at the same time, which he is trying to do right now.
Stripped out of bounds by Johnson Odom that time. With 2:30 to play in the half, we will take a break. He didn't break anything. He stuffed it. We'll be back. It's Marquette by 2, and all season long, Champion Apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the Big East Conference. Tonight, let's take a look at Jerry West, number 44, how you play and how he could play.
Well, he averaged 13 rebounds a game, and there's one of them. And of course, over 2,000 points without the three-point line. One of the greatest players ever to play college basketball, and also one of the greatest ever to play in the NBA. There are his stats.
Unbelievable. Played 3 years, and yet he is the all-time leading scorer and rebounder in West Virginia history.
I saw him earlier this year in Los Angeles. The Anaheim Classic in West Virginia won it. And of course, he came to the game, and he was sitting with Bob Huggins, and we made the comment that they're the most popular thing other than coal in the state of West Virginia.
That's true. That's a good call.
It was great to see those two guys together.
Mitchell gets it to Butler. 2-point lead for Marquette. Butler's pull-up, a little strong, and the rebound snatched by Johnson Odom.
Lazar Hayward sat out for 4 minutes, and Marquette went 5 and 3 while he was out. So even though the star player was on the bench, they maintained.
29-27, and right now the Golden Eagles are going to take their time.
Zone defense right here. A zone defense look anyway. Back to man-to-man. Switching back and forth during the possession does not work.
Great three-pointer that time by Butler. Gives him 5 and boosts the lead to 5 at 32-27.
This is a very impressive performance by Marquette.
Well, they can shoot it, Bob. We've talked about that. They can shoot the threes. They can shoot the twos.
41% from three-point range is excellent.
8-0 run right now. On the drive, Bryant has it knocked away inside, and it belongs to Marquette.
Every time the ball's gone to the paint, either by pass or by dribble against Buzz Williams' teams, 5 guys collapse and they slap at the basketball before the bigger guys can get it up over their head, and it's been very, very successful. Yeah. 9 turnovers on the part of West Virginia because of that.
The Mountaineers averaging just over 13 on the year, and they've got 9 already in the first half. This is the kind of offense that Coppin State played against them, but in this case, use as much of the clock as you can. Shot clock at 10. Acker on a drive off the glass and good. Boy, they are impressive. A 10-0 run.
You mentioned this team beat Xavier, they beat Michigan, and then they lost to Florida State on a shot at the buzzer. So they played very, very well.
And this is the Golden Eagles' biggest lead of the game. Mountaineers' biggest lead was 7-0.
And it's their biggest challenge on the year, playing the 6th-ranked team on an away floor.
Mitchell with a miss. Offensive follow is good, and a foul.
Ebanks taken over. He understands when there's a mismatch, and he goes right to where it should be. Right here, he goes back door. He's in the right place on the weak side. Butler can't do anything at only 6'6". Ebanks is a very intelligent basketball player.
It'll be the 2nd foul called tonight on Butler. 34.3 seconds to play in the half. Another 3-point play the old-fashioned way for Ebanks. He's in double figures now with 10 to match Kevin Jones, and the lead is 4. A reminder coming up, our Big East Network halftime report. We'll have some Big East New Year's wishes, out-of-town scores, of course, all the stats and highlights. That's on our Big East Network halftime report coming up in just a few ticks of the clock.
And of course, tonight Syracuse goes to Seton Hall to play. The number 5 team in the nation, playing against Seton Hall, who almost upset the Mountaineers in the last one.
Well, as you said earlier, there are no easy games in conference play, and we've started for real now.
Spread the floor, take guys on the dribble, use your quickness. That's been the formula for Marquette in this one.
Here comes the drive and the kick out to the corner. 3 is on the way and buried. Another one by Hayward. He's got 17 points. 4th three-pointer in the first half. That one goes. Oh, my goodness. How about that shot to end the half?
Hayward at one end, and you think it's over, and then Ebanks banks one in from 50 feet. Now, the officials must look at this by rule. So Jim Berg going over to the sideline. And he will take a look to make sure that this happens within the proper time frame.
Well, you can see that the clock has expired, but I think he left his hand before it did, didn't it?
Well, I think it was clear that it was made, and they're showing the officials. They're taking a look at it right here. Look at the clock as it goes down. Is it out of his hand before it gets to 0? And clearly it is.
Yeah. Looks like about 0.4 of a second left when he got it off and banked it home, so he'll get a three-pointer to head to the locker. And what an interesting first half. Huh?
Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, this has been great. Marquette really battling. You would think they'd come in here and not be confident, but they came in confidently. They've got the lead. It's awesome.
A great start to the basketball game. Here's the finish of the first half, courtesy Ebanks, who launches a three-pointer. Marquette in the last 4:30 of the half outscored at West Virginia 15-9, and a huge first half for one of the players we keyed on at the beginning. Hayward has been awesome.
Lazar Hayward doing big things in this game.
And one more time. The officials are there. You can see Jim Burr on the lower left going up with a hand. He called it good right away.
Well, he's a veteran official. He knows what he's doing, and by rule they have to go and check it out, and they did, and that was our delay.
And our Big East Network halftime report is coming up. A little bit of a surprise at halftime. It's Marquette leading by 4. Each team was up by as many as 7 in the first half, but a gritty Marquette team has the lead at halftime. We'll be back. West Virginia has trailed at halftime. We were tied 4 times. We had 5 lead changes, but it is Marquette at halftime 37-33.
I'll tell you, it's been a very entertaining game, and I think it's going to be a more entertaining second half. The big lineup is in there. The starters are in there for both squads. And of course, Lazar Hayward has been absolutely fabulous in this game. 7 for 10 from three-point range and a half. That's remarkable.
It is unbelievable. And as you said, if it continues, the Mountaineers might be in deep trouble. Jones off the glass, rattles it home.
Nice move. The double team was coming, and he went the other way. When you think about improved players in the league, Jones is at the top of the list, as is Abramitis at Notre Dame and Pena at Villanova. Interesting change of defensive philosophy, playing a little bit more compact, not out there trying to guard guys off the dribble as much.
Another 3. This one misses, just the second that Hayward has missed in the game. And now the Mountaineers with a chance to tie or maybe take the lead.
Look at the difference in size right here.
Yeah, huge, isn't it?
6'9", 5'9".
Butler with a touch. He needs to get rid of the ball. So Ebanks to the rescue. Shot clock at 15. We played 1 minute of the second half. There's an inside pass and a move and a foul.
The high-low play. Nice pass by Flowers. When you are fronted, when the ball is coming in from the wing, the best thing to do is go to the top of the key and feed it from there, and that's exactly what they did. The wing is not open. He's being fronted. See? And then, of course, he can easily go to the basket. Bikes not tall enough to guard people close to the basket. Right there, a very nice play.
Just the 3rd free throw attempt of the game. We're tied again at 37, and Butler will try to put the Mountaineers back on top, and does. They've scored the first 5. Remember, they started the game by scoring the first 7.
Full court pressure on the free throw line, the type where you trap at the 10-second line if you can. We'll see if they go back zone or go back man-to-man out of this. They stay man. But notice they're not pressuring as much, so they can help a little bit more, and they won't be exposed to the dribble drive quite as much when they play this kind of defense.
Gubion on a drive. Gets it back outside. Johnson Odom inside with a nice feed, but a miss on the easy one by Butler. Got it back, and that time he could not hit.
Very interesting and change of strategy by Huggins. They were out pressuring in the first half, and they got beat off the dribble. They got all spread out and out of whack. He says now we're going to play from the three-point line and in, and not try to pressure so much.
Pull-up jumper comes up short. Rebound goes to Johnson Odom.
See, they switched that time. Lazar Hayward was on Jones instead of Bikes.
Butler is fouled. That'll be number 2 on John Flowers, the junior out of Waldorf, Maryland.
John Flowers, his second, team foul number 1.
Well, right here, put the ball on the floor. Very nice move. He's a right-handed player, goes well with his left.
The line, Butler.
Clearly fouled by Flowers. Flowers, a very good athlete. Got a lot of hops and length.
Butler at the line for the first time. And knocks us up again, 38-38. Tomball, Texas, the hometown of Jimmy Butler. Mbao will check back in the lineup. And Bikes will go to the bench.
Marquette.
Butler also went to Tyler Junior College in Tyler, Texas. Of course, Buzz Williams' background, lots of time spent in Texas himself.
Yeah, he's a Texan, isn't he?
Yes.
2 at the line for Jimmy Butler, give him 7. And here comes the pressure.
Musofa at the point at 7-2.
It's handled that time. Ebanks sets it up.
3-2 zone right here. The corners should be open if the ball moves quickly.
Another lead change. West Virginia regaining the lead. Butler had it, and a little no-look half pass sets up Jones.
Nice dissection of the zone there.
Mountaineers by 3. Mbao along the baseline, no place to go. Johnson Odom. Hayward thought about the 3. This is a 3. It's going to come up short. We've got a foul inside. And it's going to go on Mbao. So he will pick up the foul.
Dissect the zone, get into the seams, and then make a nice little pass. Nice play by Deshaun Butler, and Jones, of course, the recipient.
Butler handles the press, gets through a potential double team, and then gives it up to Ebanks. The press is succeeding in one thing, Bob. It's taking about 10 seconds off the shot clock.
Yeah, but they've really been executing much better in the second half. Junior college player. His job is to shoot threes when he's open. He hasn't been open much in this one. This kind of defense that Marquette is playing takes a toll on you. Very, very tough to do for long periods of time.
Very unusual bad shot that time by Deshaun Butler as he had a good look from the foul line.
I think fatigue setting in on both teams right now. A lot of guys panting heavily. Buzz Williams decides to hold the ball out, spread the floor, take a rest while you're on offense.
And in the meantime, Truck Bryant is going to get ready to come back in along with Cam Thurlman for West Virginia.
Notice all 5 guys beyond the 3-point line.
Shot clock at 8.
This is smart.
Butler on a drive. Yep, shot clock violation.
Well, it didn't work out for Buzz Williams, but his team did get a chance to rest a little bit while they had the basketball.
It's 40-39. The Mountaineers have squeezed on top. We're in the second half, 14:44 to play. A 7-2 run to start the second half has put West Virginia on top 40-39. 0 for 7 in the second half, shooting the ball for Marquette.
Well, getting the high-low play is something that you always want to do, and nifty passing on the interior against the zone. And that's why the Mountaineers have come back strongly in the second half. Kevin Jones having a good day so far, huh? 14 points, 6 of 9. It's always better to shoot better than 50%. He is really an outstanding guy.
Well, you touched on it at halftime when our Big East Network halftime report. Can they continue to shoot the ball as well as they did in the first half? And it has not happened so far. (40-39). Mountaineers have the ball against the pressure. They're going to see this kind of pressure all year long.
Chuck Bryant in the game right now, even though a bit hobbled, sure with the basketball. Thurman, more of a facilitator than anything out there.
Oh, glass, a nice move. Finished by Jones. He's got 16 points.
Notice the contain more than pressure.
And notice that Thurman has changed his jersey. I think there was a little blood in the first half.
Yeah, he's normally number 2. He's got number 10 on, and his name is not on the back. So make sure everybody knows who he is now, Mr. Sanders.
I think you'll know who he is.
Odd lineup right now. Chuck Bryant, who has not been playing, he's in there with Thurman and Mitchell. And that means that Devin Ebanks goes to the 4 spot, so he plays inside more.
3-point lead, West Virginia. Kubian for 3, rattles it home.
How about that? West Virginia works hard to get a 2, and Kubian responds with a 3. What a weapon the 3-point shot is, boy, when you've got 3 or 4 guys who can make them.
We are tied once again. It's 44-44. It's about 7 minutes gone in this second half. Along with Bob Wenzel, I'm John Sanders. We've got a good one going tonight in Morgantown. Glad you could join us. That's Jones. Now the shot clock at 5. And Chuck Bryant will try to do something about it as he drives in, misses the bank shot, and it's a shot clock violation because it didn't hit the rim.
Exactly. Odd lineup right now in there for Bob Huggins, although he has 2 of his triumvirate. When I think of triumvirate for Bob Huggins' team, that is Deshaun Butler, Devin Ebanks, and Kevin Jones. Usually he has 2 of those 3 in at least at all times. Now he's got all 3 in.
Hayward, who had the great first half with 17, has not scored here in the second half. This is Acker, smallest man on the court, listed at 5'7", maybe.
And what you just said, even though Lazar Hayward has not scored, they are still right in the game.
Stripped away from Hayward inside. Mitchell back the other way. Traveling violation. I think Devin Ebanks had made up his mind he was going to go to the hole.
Yeah, he tried to split the defense, and 2 guys compressed on him too quickly, and therefore he had to take a couple of extra steps. Right here, the transition break, 2 guys collapse on him, and he's trying to go between them and can't do that.
12:23 to play. We're tied at 44.
Hayward's got his man now. Nice matchup between he and Ebanks.
Hayward's turnaround, a little bending hook goes home.
Boy, he has made threes, of course, 4 out of 5, and now he's trying to go on the inside. He really shows his versatility at the offensive end.
The baby hook worked out for him that time. We played 8 minutes of the second half. This is Mitchell outside. And we've had 9 lead changes in this game. Wow! We get back to another tie.
They do some beautiful things, don't they? Goodness gracious. Great pass, great vision, nice cut. I'm sorry, John. Keep in mind now, Marquette last year in the NCAA tournament. So they got a lot of pride. And there's a guy who was watching the NCAA tournament last year, the Raleigh native at Hutchinson Junior College.
That is his second three. He's in double figures with 10. And the lead is 3.
He makes about 3 threes a game.
Great job off the bench, outscoring West Virginia's bench 17-2. And there's Butler again.
You know, West Virginia, you get these kind of plays when you have guys who have played with each other a lot. West Virginia, a lot of experience. Of course, not as much experience on the part of Marquette. They're doing it with the 3.
Bikes with the basketball. Stop and go move. Almost lost it, then tracks it down. He's going to shoot from the corner. Rims out. Mitchell the rebound. Back from the Mountaineers. They want to push it right now. Mitchell for 3. Yes.
That's his thing. Chuck Bryant is doing a great job distributing the basketball. They're offensively more efficient in this game with him in.
Well, the timeout taken by Marquette, 51-49. Another lead change. 10:31 to go. Beautiful setup with a beautiful basket for the lead. As we near the midway point of the second half, it is 51-49, and the three-pointers beginning to work out a little bit here for West Virginia.
Well, Casey Mitchell knocks this one in on the pass from Chuck Bryant. Of their 8 field goals, they've got 7 assists. And here are my Big East games of the decade. Of course, last year, Syracuse beating UConn in that 6 overtime game. Another quadruple overtime. Notre Dame beat the Hoyas back in 02. And the Big East Championship in 06. Remember when Jerry McNamara went crazy? Yeah. 3 games in a row? Those are some big ones. If this one keeps going, this might get on the list.
And for both these teams, it's going to be the last game of the decade. Mountaineers have a 2-point lead. Johnson Odom starts to move and then pulls it back out. Inside, Hayward will go to the foul line after he gets his 21st point.
You know what's remarkable about this guy? In the first half, he's 4 for 5 from downtown. They guard him well from 3-point range in this half, and he responds by going inside and delivering in the paint. Great stuff by Lazar Hayward.
We are tied for the 9th time tonight.
66.
Small team using lots of good stuff at the offensive end to spread teams out.
Hayward puts up a little floater that won't go. The rebound to Mitchell. Marquette by 1. They led by 4 at halftime. Mitchell from short range. That one will not go, and the rebound snatched down and brought out of there by Bikes. Tonight's Big East Network game, produced and distributed by ESPN Regional Television Incorporated, and there he goes again.
Well, when you shoot 58% from 3-point range after 12 games in a season, it is no accident that you can make shots. And every time Darius Johnson Odom goes up, John, it looks like it's going in.
Back to a 4-point advantage, and Bob Huggins' team has some work to do. Our Big East Coaches Spotlight is brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds. Let's take a closer look at the very successful Bob Huggins.
649 career wins. That's a lot of wins. 4th among active Division I coaches. The other 3, Coach K at Duke, Coach Calhoun at UConn, and Coach Boeheim at Syracuse. All 3 of them in the Hall of Fame, and that guy will be in there one day. Right here, Johnson Odom, the lefty. Nothing but bottom. He's got great radar.
And he's also got 13 points. His high is 18. Hayward's high is 28. He's closing in on that with 22. And they are back on top by 4. So the second half has been even after a fast start again for West Virginia.
Marquette's really a gritty team.
Missoula back in the lineup.
Very aggressive defense. West Virginia trying to attack it with cuts, not using the dribble for penetration much.
Shot clock at 10.
Well, there we see some dribble penetration, and that's the antidote to this type of pressure D. Butler put it on the floor, avoided the charge. This foul will be an out-of-bounds situation. When you're pressured like this, you got to put the ball on the floor. Right here, he gets tripped up from behind.
And there's Butler. 15 now for Deshaun.
Execution of the out-of-bounds plays. Those are the special situations you work on the day of the game.
Missoula trying to put some pressure on Aker, who hits the deck. Mountaineers have possession of the ball, and they'll keep it.
Oh my goodness. What a great play with a guy with one shoulder, huh?
That's exactly right. He goes out there and plays hard every single night, no matter what.
Aker wants to get him back.
Jones. That one comes up short, and the rebound to Marquette. Brought out of there by Jimmy Butler.
Missoula's angry that they didn't score because he worked so hard.
Exactly.
To get that turnover.
Now it's Bikes working on Ebanks, takes him low, puts it up, missed the shot, and on the weak side is tracked down by Ebanks.
Bikes thinks he can take him, but the length.
We've got a held ball, it's going to go the other way. The arrow favors Marquette. That'll take us to a timeout with 7:31 to go. A dandy going on in Morgantown. Right now, it's a two-point edge for Marquette. The Golden Eagles on top of the Mountaineers, 55-53. 7.5 to play, and the scramble has been on. Both teams want the basketball.
Both teams want the win, that's for sure. Missoula comes in, knocks everybody down. Get this thing onto our team. Great hustle by that guy. Remember 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament?
Right.
He beat Duke, and he played great in that game. That was his coming out party.
Here's our stat track. Difference for West Virginia, 32 points in the paint, but the three-point shooting of Marquette is maybe a bigger factor here tonight. They've got the lead by 2.
That's unbelievable. 10 of 15 threes. That is remarkable outside shooting. You're going to win most games playing like that.
Well, remember they had the great first half when they were 7 of 10, so they haven't cooled off much.
Nope. And this is against the West Virginia team that's pretty good on D.
Hayward has that one blocked, and Missoula tracks it down. Good job by Jones that time.
Along with that 10 of 15, think about this. It's an away game. Usually guys can do that at home, but at West Virginia, my.
Too strong out of the hands of Deshaun Butler, and this will be an easy one for Hayward.
Well, that's Missoula's fault right there. Point guard's supposed to be back. You never give up easy baskets like that. Missoula's, in his aggression, went to the offensive board and didn't stay back.
So now it's a 4-point lead, matching the largest of the second half for Marquette. West Virginia has led by as many as 3, and they've got their hands full tonight. Shot clock at 5. Butler's going to have to do something. He loses the ball. And we are in Morgantown, West Virginia. 15 turnovers now for the Mountaineers, who are down by 4. I'm John Sanders, along with veteran analyst Bob Wenzel. We're having some fun, though, tonight, huh?
This is the greatest, I tell you. College basketball, Marquette comes in. People don't think they have a chance against the next 6th team in the nation. And they have a game plan, and they got guts, and they're playing great. And most of all, they're shooting the ball from downtown.
Six minutes remaining in the game.
Marquette beat Xavier. Marquette beat Michigan.
And a turnover by Johnson Odom that time. Here comes Deshaun Butler. Fans, and we've got a good crowd. Actually, West Virginia only 2 points in the last 5 minutes. Ebanks to Butler. Spins along the baseline, uses the glass, doesn't get the roll. Kept alive, still battling for the ball. Back the other way comes Johnson Odom.
5 blue jerseys around it, right? When you're small, you got a gang rebound, and they did. West Virginia needs to put the ball on the floor and drive to the basket. Right now, they're getting too many jump shots on their cuts to the basket. They're dropping the ball, turning it over. They averaged 13 turnovers. They got 15 already in this game.
And we've still got 5 minutes to go. Bikes with it. Pulls up for a jumper and nails it.
Bikes.
7 points now for the junior from Milwaukee. The lead grows to 6, biggest lead of the half. A 10-2 run right now by the Golden Eagles. Deshaun Butler looks inside, goes instead to Ebanks. That's a three-pointer that's going to come up short and be tracked down by Butler.
Yeah, all jump shots, nothing around the basket. The stuff they got earlier in the half has been shut down. They had cuts to the basket, got a lot of layups, nothing in the last 5 or 6 minutes inside.
Johnson Odom gives it up to Hayward. He'll get some help from Kubion. Mazzulla hitting the deck. Hayward for 3, short. Joe Mazzulla, you can tell he's hurting as he comes back.
Oh yeah, he's a limited player with that shoulder injury.
Only 2 points in the last 7.5 minutes for West Virginia.
Defensive Marquette has West Virginia way out of sync in their half-court stuff.
Oh, what a great drive and finish. I tell you what, Ebanks with 17 made up his mind what he was going to do early.
Well, I told you they needed to put the ball on the floor and drive it to the basket, and that's what they need to do against this type of defense.
And that gets the crowd on their feet. Buzz Williams wants a timeout. He'll get it with a 4-point lead and 3.5 minutes to play.
The pass and cut offense is not going to do it against pressure. You've got to put the ball on the basket. Right here, Ebanks does it from about 35 feet. The degree of difficulty, 9 on a 10-point scale on that one. But the rest of the Mountaineers have to do that same thing and take the ball to the basket with the dribble.
Well, we'll see what the strategy is for the final 3:30. It's a 4-point lead for Marquette. The same lead they had at halftime. You know, they've had success. This is their 5th year in the Big East Conference. They've had 10-plus wins in conference play each of the first 4 years, and only Georgetown and Pitt can match that total of conference victories.
Well, that's a good point. And, of course, we have a great crowd here, but Marquette, the 3rd leading team in the conference in terms of attendance behind Syracuse and Louisville. They have a very big arena. They average about 14,000 people a game up in Milwaukee. And, of course, a great crowd here for this one this evening as well.
A little conversation going on between Kubion and Mazzulla. Joe loves to chat.
Team foul number 4, defensive timeout.
We are back. There's the reset. 3 timeouts for West Virginia, 2 for Marquette. Not much in the way of fouls. Let's take a look at our Papa John's player of the game, and that's an easy pick at this point in the contest.
Well, Lazara Hayward has been spectacular in this game. He's got 24 points. He's been making them from all over the floor. In the first half, he was 4 of 5 from 3-point range. In the second half, he's been all inside. So Mr. Outside and Mr. Inside. Lazara Hayward looking like an all Big East performer in this one.
Inbound play comes to Butler, working on Butler. It's our Star Watch matchup that we talked about. And a turnover. Good pressure defense that time from West Virginia.
The foul situation is instructive at this point. Nobody even close to being in the 1-and-1. If you're Marquette and you get in a bad way, foul early. Nobody will go to the free throw line. Not on the shooter, but in a bad way, foul early.
That's Thurman outside. Now Jones. Shot clock at 10. Game clock at 2:46.
He can't create like he used to here.
He gets
Oh my!
gets the basket. That's a huge one.
You talk about heart. You're right, John. That is a huge, huge play. Missoula with a broken shoulder, taking it hard to the basket. He rarely shoots nowadays since the surgery last year where he had to sit out the whole year. And right here, taking it strong to the basket, that's gotta hurt.
He liked it, though.
Watch, he shoots right-handed
Yes,
at the
he
free
does.
throw line. He's a left-handed player. Didn't hit rim.
And he made 2 against Seton Hall. That's still a big basket for him to get inside.
Oh, big time, big time.
West Virginia with the full court pressure now. Packer finds an open man and Johnson Odom. This is Bites with it. Fans are getting into it. The student section standing behind us. Shot clock at 15. 2:20 on the game clock. Now Butler. Butler with a drive and a beautiful runner.
Oh, man. That was a very difficult shot. Terrific play by Jimmy Butler.
9 points for him, and West Virginia will use one of its timeouts, so each team will have 2 remaining.
Did you say over?
I'll tell you what, some big baskets and none bigger than this one.
Jimmy Butler, he avoids the charge. He's actually almost out of bounds when he shoots this ball. Watch him on the baseline.
Yeah, he almost stepped out of bounds.
Wow. That is a tough, tough shot. He was defended well and made it anyway.
Back to the 4-point lead. We have exactly 2 minutes remaining. Well, Bob Huggins trying to figure out some kind of strategy. But again, you go back, the big shots and the consistency of this offense for Marquette has been impressive.
Yeah, and their defense has been very good through a stretch of the game. They took away the interior, forced a lot of turnovers, and then West Virginia didn't put the ball on the floor enough to counteract that. And that's where they got themselves down. Look at the foul situation on the right. 4 fouls. Doesn't go into the 1-and-1 until the 7th foul. So both teams can afford to foul and still not be punished for it.
Now, West Virginia's last lead was 51-49. That was midway through this second half. But I tell you what, the Golden Eagles have cracked down on the Mountaineers.
Interesting to see who's in the game right now. Missoula and Thurman along with the triumvirate.
This is Deshaun Butler, who has managed to stay out of foul trouble tonight. Thurman looks inside, goes to Jones.
They want Butler on the interior.
Here's Missoula. Butler, shot clock at 6. Butler to the foul line. And an offensive foul on Deshaun Butler.
Holy cow.
Carl Hess made the call. Butler can't believe it.
The drive, watch his left elbow.
Yep, little push. Not much. But the important thing is the 4-point lead with less than a minute and a half to play. And the ball back in the hands of Marquette.
Got to get a stop here, no doubt about it. Got to get a stop. Marquette, good advantage here. They can all handle.
Johnson Odom outside. Shot clock at 8. Little stop and go move. He gets inside. Won't go. But he gets his own rebound and will go to the foul line.
Great hustle by the part of Johnson Odom. He takes it to the basket. He's defended nicely right here by Ebanks, but Ebanks gets pushed under the basket. The ball comes right back to Odom. He's not blocked out, and as a result, he gets his chance at the free throw line.
And we mentioned it earlier, this is a very good foul shooting team. West Virginia, by the way, Bob, has taken only 3 free throws in the game.
That's remarkable when you consider the difference in size, right? Amazing. 78% on the year for Darius.
Trying to build their biggest lead of the second half. No, I take that back. They had a 6-point lead earlier. He makes 1 out of 2. That gives him 14 on the night.
2-possession game for West Virginia to score.
Minute to go.
Gotta go.
And it's Missoula hounded and fouled. But as you said, that's not a bad foul.
No, it's a great foul. You know, they still got 2 more to give before the 1-and-1 situation. So the clock is their ally when they're ahead. Very, very smart play.
Well, somebody's got to inbound the ball for West Virginia. And we'll bring it all the way back with a new clock. 55 seconds left in the game. Marquette trying to pull off the upset in their opening regular season game in Big East play. Ebanks drives inside and is fouled.
Well, the good part about that is the clock stops as well.
Foul after the second. Team foul number 6.
Ebanks determined.
Foul.
Going hard. He got fouled by 2 guys, but that does not mean he gets 4 free throws.
He doesn't get any, as a matter of fact.
That's right. There was no shot, right?
But they will be in the bonus in the final 46 seconds here, will the Mountaineers.
Good foul by Marquette.
Here's Jones from outside, puts up the jumper, way strong. Loose ball picked up by Marquette, stolen. Jones to the basket, lays it in.
Determination. Timeout, West Virginia. Jones making the play.
He stayed with it. He missed the wide open jumper, but fought to get the ball back. Take a look.
Very aggressive. Everybody going after it. The spin, the use of the glass, the enthusiasm. Big East basketball. Gotta love it.
Still a 3-point lead for Marquette. The Mountaineers trying to scramble back. They had to go to overtime to beat Seton Hall, and they barely survived at Cleveland State.
Well, on the next foul, West Virginia puts Marquette in the 1-and-1. So the decision that Bob Huggins must make right here is how much time does he want to let go off the clock before he fouls? Maybe you do it right away because you extend the game for a longer period of time and hope that Marquette misses the free throws.
Looking for their first win here. West Virginia undefeated in the first 10 for the first time since 04-05. But they're in a hole right now. But Jones trying to get the fans fired up as he comes back. Heavy coverage on the inbounds play. Handled by Butler. Ebanks on him.
Got a foul. Got a foul.
They finally do, but with 23 seconds left in the game.
Well, you know, there's a lot of different ways of looking at this. You know, when the possession began, there was 39 seconds to go. They let a lot of time go off. They were hoping there was going to be a turnover in that juncture somewhere. So they did finally foul, but you've got less time right now if he makes these.
Well, Missoula started to come out of the game. Instead, they're going to take John Flowers out and put in Casey Mitchell.
Well, Mitchell can make threes. Flowers is not a 3-point shooter. So that's what he's thinking at the offensive end.
Unfortunately, you fouled a great shooter. Just grazed the rim. Alligator arms on that one. Ebanks for the jam.
Get out of here! Holy mackerel! Are you kidding me, Devin? Whoa!
1-point game. 16.2 to play. He was not going to be denied here, Bob.
Indeed. Guys get their hand on the basketball. He goes in anyway. Marquette did not want to foul. Right here, terrific, terrific front change of direction. Kept the ball low for a 6'9" guy. Wow.
He now has, in the game, 19 points to lead the scoring for West Virginia. The Mountaineers have 3 players in double figures.
Well, Marquette right now, John, they have to inbound the ball and get, as we take a look at their upcoming schedule, obviously everybody's going to be in a gauntlet. Theirs is in the next week. Now, Marquette, what they have to do is when they get the ball inbounds, that's A, get it inbounds. B is they're going to be fouled right away in all likelihood. So they want to try to inbound it to somebody who's a good free throw shooter. Now, Johnson Odom, who's shooting 78%, is 1 for 3 in his last free throw. So psychologically, you don't want to get the ball to him. So West Virginia puts their length on the floor, they go for the steal, and then they foul immediately to extend the game.
Because even if he makes 2 at the line, it's still just a one-possession game. It'd be 64-61.
Exactly. So you want to foul as soon as you can right here. You don't want it to go down to like 7 or 8 seconds or anything like that if you can avoid it. Sometimes that's easier said than done.
That's exactly right.
For Marquette, they should line up all of their guys in the backcourt and send somebody long. Jones right now is deep as the safety, but he shouldn't play that far back. He should get in the backcourt.
Yeah, they're bringing him up. But right now, Johnson Odom is the player who's open for this inbounds play. Hayward has it.
He doesn't want to give it up, but has to.
Now Butler.
Whoa, that was a close one. Missoula almost got the charge.
11.2 to play. And Hayward will go to the line for a couple.
This is good by West Virginia. Jim Burr is right on the call in front of us. So Jimmy Butler, he played a lot last year.
Butler, 75% at the line. Tonight, 2 for 2. That is a miss, and the Mountaineers have the basketball. They don't have any timeouts remaining. 62-61. Marquette with the lead. Butler turns, shoots a 3. Got it! He hit it!
Oh, my God! The miss. They've missed 3 out of 4 down the stretch. Deshaun is not going to give this up. He wants it. He uses the dribble to get the rhythm. The turnaround, Jay, clearly behind the three-point line. Maybe. We'll see. They're looking at it right now. I think it's a 2.
Yeah, I think it is 2. It still gives West Virginia the lead. The officials are talking it over, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be a 2. Let's take a look.
I'm sorry, John. The white line is the one that counts right here. He turns. He's on it now. He's clearly on it, so that's going to be a 2. 1.8 seconds to go. You can catch and launch if you're Marquette. For West Virginia, you put a big guy on the ball to make the pass inbounds difficult. You try to filter anybody toward the sideline, not down the middle. The long shots that you see that win games usually are in the middle of the floor. Keep in mind at halftime, there was this amount of time left, and Ebanks made a 3. Right here, the officials are looking at what you're looking at, folks. His left foot is on the white line.
But the official closest to the play could not see that foot because he was behind, and he signaled three-pointer.
And they are required by rule in any shot that is an end-game shot like this in the last moments of a game, even if they think they know, they're required to go to the monitor as well. And right here, I think it's clear his left foot is across the line.
They have not changed the scoreboard here in the arena. Still shows a 2-point difference. It's actually 63-62.
Well, if you're the scorer at West Virginia, you don't want to put it up there too soon. But we've got it right. That's the important thing.
Well, Butler has scored 6 of the last 12 West Virginia points, but none bigger than that one. But they've still got to stop here. 1.8 seconds to play.
Ebanks, he's up on the ball. It's going to be a difficult long pass. Butler is deep. Remember Christian Laettner in the NCAA tournament against Kentucky?
I do.
The long pass, he caught it at the top of the key, turned and shot.
Now they've changed the clock to 2.3 seconds.
You don't have to have the long pass. You could catch it in the backcourt, take a dribble, and launch.
Here we go, 2.3 to play. Long pass intercepted by Missoula. And the Mountaineers are going to escape again. Unbelievable.
62.
The number 6 ranked team survives because Deshaun Butler makes a shot that was extremely difficult.
And Marquette did not score in the last minute of the game. What an exciting basketball game. Let's take another look at the one that won it.
Deshaun Butler dribbles the length of the floor on a missed free throw. He spins, he turns, his left foot is on the line. It's nothing but bottom, but it is a 2. And as a result, they get the W. The number 6 ranked team in the nation survives.
But what an effort by Deshaun Butler.